the very beginning. While each project was unique, I noticed certain common actions or patterns that helped in building them successfully. I believe these patterns can be equally useful for future projects. I will now discuss the actions I learned during 3 key phases of a project's life cycle: planning, development, and testing. For each phase, I will point out specific actions along with their description or justification. Please keep in mind that these are not strict rules you must follow to succeed. You should always adapt to your company's specific circumstances, such as its chosen methodology or other environmental factors, when you and your team are building an IT project. My intention here is simply to share what I have observed in practice. Let's begin with the planning phase. In this phase, you have the opportunity to gather requirements, define processes, meet key users, and collect all necessary information to set baselines. These baselines include a project schedule, a clear definition of the project scope, and a budget. It is very valuable to learn as much as you can about the project during this time. So, start by asking your users questions. Look for allies or stakeholders who are willing to explain what they expect from the project. Prepare your lists of questions or doubts and schedule meetings. All of these steps will help you create a clear scope for all stakeholders and reduce uncertainty in the project. Apart from creating the project's baselines, it is also necessary to establish deadlines. These deadlines should point out commitments, such as delivery dates. For example, you might set a date for delivering your project plan to your stakeholders. It is also important to mention the risks and impacts of not meeting these commitments. Make sure the stakeholders are aware of those risks. This is also a good reminder of why your communication, especially in emails, needs to be as specific and clear as possible. Additionally, to avoid misunderstandings between the key players, it helps to search for a single, unique channel of communication. Ideally, one person should manage the communication between the stakeholders and the development team. Often, this person is a member of the customer's team. Now, let's move on to the development and monitoring phase. Once the project scope is clearly specified, it is time to share documentation, such as the functional specification, with the developers. It is normal for some questions to arise at this stage, but they should be minimal since there was an analysis and design phase beforehand. Keep communicating any remaining uncertainties back and forth with the stakeholders. And of course, do not forget to mention any commitments or plans for how to resolve these uncertainties. Finally, we come to the testing phase. During user acceptance testing, you have the opportunity to detect bugs in the software or to identify new requirements. This can happen when a user had a general idea about a feature and defined it broadly. Once the user tests the actual product or feature, they may realize that additional functionalities are missing. Whatever the case, any finding needs to be carefully analyzed. It should be compared against your functional specification, such as a software requirement specification, and classified as a new requirement, a bug, or an issue that is not applicable to the project. If it represents a change in the scope, like a new requirement, it must be managed through a formal change control process. This process should include change requests, authorization from the stakeholders, and a clear understanding of the impacts of the change before it is implemented. While monitoring the testing phase, you might notice that users or testers do not fully understand the behavior of the software that was developed. Sometimes, this behavior is incorrectly reported as a bug or a failure without proper investigation. Unfortunately, such information or misunderstandings can negatively impact the perception of your product. Therefore, it is necessary to play an active role and help classify things correctly. This ensures that issues are properly identified and addressed, leading to a better final